Villanova student athletes, Phil Booth, Jermaine Samuels. Villanova advanced yesterday with a 61-57 win over St. Mary's. They will play Purdue tomorrow night in tomorrow night's second game of the doubleheader starting approximately 8:40. We'll open it up for questions for our student athletes. The Villanova locker room will be open for the next 30 minutes. Right down here.
Rebecca Schneider with the Purdue Exponent. You guys are going up against Matt Harms, who's 7'3". How often do you guys play guys who are over 7 feet, and what kind of mismatch does that present for you guys?
We'll start with Phil. Why don't you take that first?
We played a lot of guys like that, kind of. I mean, last game we played against Hunter from St. Mary's, about 6'10", 6'11". In the championship game we played against in Seton Hall, Romero Gills, about 7'2". We played a lot of guys over 7 feet. Michigan early in the year, 7'1". So we're still as a team learning how to deal with guys with that much height. You know, Harms brings a lot of skill too as well. A very fundamentally sound big man, so he'll present some challenges.
Jermaine, want to take that?
Going off of what Booth said, he's a really, really big guy, and we'll discuss as a team how to deal with that and execute on the defensive end.
The questions over here.
Adam Betts with the Journal-Inquirer. My question is for Jermaine. You had a lot of big buckets down the stretch yesterday. What do you need to do to start off the game hot and continue that momentum tomorrow night?
I would just say, just staying confident, staying ready. My teammates and my coaches are always going to, find ways to put me in positions to score and make plays. And as long as I look to score, be aggressive, the rest should take care of itself.
Yeah, Greg Mengelt, CNHI Sports Indiana. Phil, what is it that you've seen from Purdue that would concern you, especially on the defensive end?
They do a lot of great things offensively. So many shooters. I mean, of course, Edwards averaging over 20 a game. He can really take over a game. They have, between Klein and Eifert, great shooters, and then inside they have Harms. And they have a guy like number 20, I can't remember his name, 20. Eastern, who can do it all, who handles the ball, finishes, does a lot of good things for him, passes the ball very well. So they have a lot of different guys that can beat you.
Right down here in the middle.
Thanks. Bob Ford, Philadelphia Inquirer. Phil, you mentioned Carson Edwards. He's such a high-volume shooter and high-volume scorer, and you've seen a lot of those guys. And without giving away your game plan, which I don't expect you to do, I mean, how do you guys like to contend with a guy who has that possibility of, like, going off and changing a game all by himself?
Those type of guys are very dangerous, between, Marcus Howard this season, Miles Powell, and now Carson Edwards. Those guys can really take over a game and dominate, go for 30 or 40 if you let them get in the rhythm. So, just try and make everything difficult on them, no easy shots. But he's the type of guy who can get going no matter what the defense is giving him.
Other questions for the student athletes? Anybody? No other questions for the student athletes? Okay, then we will excuse them and let them go back to the locker room if you want one-on-one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. We'll be back with Coach Wright in about 15 minutes. Folks, we're about to be joined by Villanova coach Jay Wright. He will be available for the next 20 minutes or so. Villanova's locker room remains open until Coach Wright leaves the podium. When Jay leaves the podium, it's been open for a half hour. That's the end of it. Jay? Hey. Good to see you, Jay. Once again, Villanova will play Purdue in tomorrow night's second game, starting about 8:40. Okay, questions, please, for Villanova head coach Jay Wright. We'll start down here in the front, Taylor.
Jay, Matt Painter has talked a lot about how getting old and staying old has been a big part of their success. Just curious how you feel like that's played into what you've been able to do at Villanova.
Yeah, definitely important to us, and it's something that we've really tried to work on, and with our recruiting and our roster structuring. And we got caught this year. You know, we expected to have Dante DiVincenzo and Omari Spellman back. But for all good reasons, it worked out great for them. So we're willing to take that hit. And it probably will affect us more even next year than it will this year, because we won't have any seniors next year. Thank God for Phil Booth and Eric Pasco. They've had a lot of responsibility, and the old guys still carry this team.
Any other questions? Right over there. Back one? Yeah.
Jay, Charlie Clifford, Wish TV. Matt Painter lost 4 seniors last year, probably one of his top classes. What can you say about the job he's done this year to get his team here?
Yeah, I just saw him in the hallway, and that's exactly what I said to him. I just said, I'm so happy for you to have a season like this, and impressed, man. It's amazing. It really is. Because like we just talked about, I know in their program they rely on guys that understand their system and that have played in their system and are proud of being a part of something bigger than themselves. That's what makes them good. And then you lose 4 of them, right? It takes time to build that again. And I think not just what they've been able to do this year, but the way they've been able to improve throughout the entire season to win the Big Ten. They were 16-4, I believe. Is that right, in the Big Ten? That's impressive anytime, any year, but after losing 4 guys, that's amazing.
Adam? We'll go to you.
Adam Betts with the Journal-Enquirer.
Gotcha.
Are you excited that it's a single session tomorrow, so there'll actually be people in the building when you tip off?
I feel bad bad about saying that now. No, everybody in the building's been awesome. The building's been great. We have great locker rooms. Everyone treats us great. Everything's set up. I just meant it was just shocking to the players that have not been in an NCAA tournament when you tell them how special it is. You know, I know it was because of TV and the NCAA, but I didn't mean to say anything bad about the people at the building. It's not their fault. The building's been great. We've been treated extremely well. So I am happy to have a crowd there.
We're right here.
Bailey Chambers from the Purdue Exponent. Jay, just your thoughts on what Matt Painter's been able to build over his 15 years at Purdue, the sustained run of success.
You know, that you can look around college basketball. It's the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do in anything is sustained excellence, right? You can get hot for a while, and then how do you handle success, right? Or you can be down for a while, and how do you handle failure? Well, he's handled everything, right? And every year you know that team is going to be well coached, disciplined. They're going to execute, and they're going to compete for championships every year. It's really impressive. That's and greatness is sustained excellence, right? And that's what he's done. And I'm sure Coach Keaty's really proud. It's pretty cool. I was watching film, and just to see him sitting in the stands at one of their games is, I think that's a big part of it. I think Matt respects Purdue's history, respects Coach Keaty, and that's what makes him so good. You know, it's not about him. It's about the tradition of Purdue basketball, and to be as successful as he is and as good a coach as he is, and not make it about him is, I think, probably what's unique about him and Purdue.
Guys, can we hold it down over there?
Trying to work here. Jay, Carson Edwards, guy who has such an incredibly high volume of takes and makes, and the kind of guy that scares you a little bit, because if he goes off, it doesn't matter in some ways what else you're doing.
Right.
I don't want you to give me your game plan. I asked Booth for it. He wouldn't give it to me either. But, I mean, a guy that quick, it's hard to deny. Is it then just switch and help and just make sure he doesn't have a lot of room to maneuver? How do you look at a guy like him? Or, you know, you had Marcus Howard this year and all those guys.
But similar to those guys, Powell and Howard, where you're not going to stop them. And part of the game is not getting frustrated if he comes down in transition and pulls up literally from 30 feet and makes a shot. That can't break you mentally, you know. And the thing about Purdue, more than any team we've played, is the other guys are really good too. You know, Klein could put up the numbers that Edwards did if Edwards wasn't on the team. And I think, again, that's what makes them a great team, that it doesn't bother any of them. And it's obvious the way they play together. Harms, you know, they can go inside if they just choose. They got choices, you know. Eford shoots the hell out of it, right? And then, you know, you look at Eastern, you know, that kid can do a lot. Like, he can post up, he can drive the ball, he can score, he can guard anybody. So we can't just try to hold Edwards. He could score 25 and maybe you could win because he's just so good. But what makes them so difficult is his explosiveness and then the ability of the guys around him.
Pete?
Jay, Pete Thamel from Yahoo. You mentioned sustaining excellence, and obviously you've had player turnover. You've also had an enormous amount of staff turnover because of all the winning and your guys going on to get jobs. Just wondering philosophically how you've handled that. It seems like you've almost started a little bit of a feeder system within your program. I'm just wondering if that was intentional or it kind of happened organically.
You know what, Pete? That is something that we're really proud of this year. And over the last 2 years, we lost our top 2 assistants to head coaching positions. Baker Dunleavy is here in Connecticut at Quinnipiac, and Ashley Howard at LaSalle. And so on our staff, you know, from our top assistants to our third assistant, Mike Nardi, to our Dobo, Dwayne Anderson, everybody's in a new position for the first time. That was one of our struggles about being young this year too. And those guys have done an incredible job. And I'm really proud of them. And when you talk about the feeder system, one of the things that we've learned over the years is all those guys that are on our staff have either been previously assistants on our staff or have played for us. And it's harder to teach our culture than it is to teach the X's and O's of what we do. So we want to keep guys that understand the culture when they come in, so it's an easier adjustment to whatever we're doing X and O wise, and that's been part of our feeder system.
Dom?
Don Memori from the Hartford Courant. Jay, I don't know if you had a chance maybe to sneak a peek at Murray State yesterday, or if you've seen them in person in the past, but I was just wondering, as a basketball guy, your take on John and, you know, what you like about him, what's unique about him.
I haven't seen a lot, but the thing that I have, so we could take this with a grain of salt, but I love when guys that are that talented, that could play to get outrageous numbers in terms of scoring, always makes the right play and always plays to win. That's what's really impressive to me. Now, I haven't seen a lot, but when you have that much talent and you know you can really get a shot off anytime you want and you could score as much as you want, but you still make the right pass and make the right play to your teammates and you still defend and rebound, That's always hard to do, but in today's players' mindset is really rare, and it's really impressive.
Joe, in the middle.
Joe Giuliano, Philadelphia Inquirer. Jay, offensive rebounding last night was a bit of a problem, and it seems to have been
non-existent.
No, right, well, non-existent. I'll use your word. But it's been hot and cold, and I just wondered, what do you guys have to reinforce, especially tomorrow night, because Purdue they average over 12 offensive rebounds a game.
Yeah, there's two sides of that, Joe. As you know, number one is keeping them off the glass. Even their guards offensive rebound really well, which is rare. So that's what's interesting about the NCAA tournament. When you go against different styles and you really only have a day to prepare, and that team that you're preparing for is they're not just a different style, they're really successful at it, or they wouldn't be here. How we can quickly get our guards to rebound against their guards is going to be important. And then for us to just do a better job of stealing an extra possession of two. We got a couple at the end of the game that were in last night, but we only got a couple. But they were crucial. We just have to, we watched film today, and we just got to commit to it and maybe do a better job. But they're a great rebounding team.
Right there.
Greg Mengelt, CNHI Sports Indiana. You talked a little bit about Purdue's offense. What do they do defensively that concerns you?
Very, very disciplined in terms of using their size. They've got great size to keep you in front of them, right? But still remain close enough to contest your threes. Some teams can back off and keep you in front of them, but they can't guard the three. And then some teams can get up in you, but you can go by them. And they have, again, that's why Matt's a great coach, and they all do it. They just give you just enough space that you can't go by them, but they can still get up and contest you, and then they keep you in front of them. So, to Joe's question, offensive rebounding is difficult when you don't go by anybody, and they're always keeping you between them and the basket. They do a great job of that.
Ralph?
Hey, Ralph Russo, AP. A question related to Ja. Kid comes in, is a little off the radar, and takes big steps each year. So many of the superstars, like a Zion, in the one-and-done era, seem to be sort of ready-made superstars. What does it say? Do we underrate sort of the development that happens in college basketball? In other words, like, guys can actually, like, take some time to develop into stars?
Yeah. We do, and I get it. I get that, everybody likes to see the phenom and the new guy that just came on the scene, and he's going to be a great NBA player, and it's a no-brainer, right? I get that. And you have to celebrate that. It's pretty cool. I actually feel bad. I've never seen Zion in person, and I feel bad. I want to see it, It'd be nice in a game because that means we advanced. But I think true college basketball fans really desire knowing more about the guys that develop, and I wish we would do more of that. And I wish somehow we could figure out in college basketball. I do not want to take away anything from those guys that are the stars because they make the game. They make people come to the game and watch it on TV. But the true college basketball fans, I wish there's a way in college basketball we could really celebrate those guys. There's some awards, like the best senior in the country that stayed for 4 years, but I don't feel it gets the publicity, maybe of the one and done guy that's a great player too. And those guys are really valuable to our game, and those guys are valuable in the NBA too. So it's something that maybe we can all work on together.
Any other questions for Coach Wright? Nobody?
Good.
Okay, then we'll excuse it.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations again, and we'll see you tomorrow night. We will be back with the Purdue student athletes at 3:55. locker room is open now for 5 more minutes, and then Purdue's locker room is open at 3:55.